Now, the one that I need to score, I think I know what I'm going to score it. Or let's just have the discussion and see how it works. Because I think I know what I would favor if we do tie. We have Fellowship of the Ring, which is the Amon Hen fight, which is the forest fight to end the movie, which advanced over the Inigo and Wesley duel from Princess Bride, taking on the truck chase sequence and flip from The Dark Knight, which advanced over Final Destination 2's opening sequence where a log goes through a police car and then the entire highway blows up. How did you score this?
I went 6-4 Fellowship.
I went 5-5. I couldn't because I think
You
they
know
are.
what's funny? Originally, I was 5-5, and then I crossed it off.
So I was ready. I think I was ready to go 6-4. If you said it was tied, I was ready to go. If I have to pick,
hmm
I think Fellowship takes it.
Yeah. I think it's down to this. I think it's down to Fellowship is all about character moments, or more about character moments, I should say. And then The Dark Knight is more about exhilarating moments.
Sure. I don't think that's unfair statement.
Yeah. Or I would actually even say impressive moments,
Yeah.
like
So
the truck flip and everything. So,
so the reason I had it tied was because exactly what you said. Everyone gets their moment to shine in Fellowship, and again, it is perfect fantasy world building where you don't know world building is happening and you understand it more.
hmm
Plus, it's the redemption of a character that literally just preceded it. So it's not one of those where you're like, well, remember at the beginning of the movie, this happened and it kind of set up everything. It's like, no, you've been watching someone slowly descend into madness due to the corruption of the ring. And now you're seeing that character who literally just started this fight, essentially, because of what happened, now gets to redeem themselves, and you understand paranoia, the fear, and the stakes created by the ring in this fight. That's, I think, where I favor it, whereas Dark Knight has excellent character moments for both its main two
yes,
components.
that's why I said Fellowship has more, because there are great character moments in the Dark Knight one as well.
And the Dark Knight is the thing about the Dark Knight, oddly, is one of the most believable scenes of our tournament. It's
Yeah,
it's ridiculous to say a Batman movie where a truck flips over.
and helicopters get taken down by wires
Yes,
across buildings.
ironically enough, is one of the most believable scenes
Yeah.
in our entire tournament. So I said this in the past. Let's just cover it because now my heart's been ripped out. So I'm just gonna gush over something that I love.
Okay.
First of all, this scene is set up perfectly. Everything has causality to it. Like I think you're literally to me, we are comparing a perfect scene versus a perfect scene. And it comes down to what is preference.
hmm
That's literally how I view this matchup. So everything has causality in this chase sequence. Everything has a reason for being there. But the fact that right away it's like we have to go to lower fifth, which I said this again, I'll utter it every time we cover this scene. If you ever lived in Chicago or you had to drive in Chicago and you've been stuck on lower whacker, you will understand the paranoia of having to drive that sequence.
Are there enough cars down there, you think?
There's not as many cars as there are in the movie, but
Yeah.
there's enough that you still go because you're fully encased. You know there's
No, I'm
buildings on top of you, you know?
I yeah, no, I meant like in real life, are there way more cars? Is it like traffic jam
It
style?
depends on how bad downtown Chicago is at night.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm down there, the surface is jammed, which is why you get stuck taking it. But it's also like lower whacker is, unless you know it, near impossible to navigate. Like, you know how you can be on a road, and even though you don't know where you're going, if you have any intuition, you can probably figure it out. You
Hmm.
can't do that in Lower Whacker. And then
That's a good system of city
it just
making.
has some random painted pointed lines and shit and the occasional sign that you're like, where the fuck am I going?
Yeah.
No idea. My friend, I can't remember if you met my friend Sam, but she lives in a high rise right on top of Lower Whacker. So it makes it even worse because you know there's fucking skyscrapers above you at any time, so you feel like your impending doom is coming down upon you. So that makes the scene even better for me because I know how difficult it is to be there and how fearful that place is to be. I also had to park under there occasionally to go to therapy when I was going to therapy in downtown Chicago, where I was right around where you had to park for Lower Whacker, like right towards the exits that they take in the movie, and I was just like, the whole time I was thinking of The Dark Knight. I was like, Jesus Christ, this would suck.
I think that would change the tone of the Dark Knight. Traffic jam chase.
Exactly. So you have all of that setup of that goes back to primal fear of not knowing where you're going, and then you have to deal with now there's an 18 wheeler that's chasing you and trying to blow you up. Like
Yeah,
it's set up perfectly, and the person controlling the 18 wheeler is the most unpredictable human ever.
for sure.
So you have all these recipes for disaster to bring the tension up, not to a 10, to a fucking 20. Like, it's just ramped up perfectly. And then you have all these awesome moments of Batman taking things to it. It's incredible. That scene is mapped out so well. You understand it perfectly. And I also think what's really smart is the humorous narration of the co-pilot or in the passenger seat of the armored car,
Yeah,
because it brings more of that human element back where you don't get stuck too far into this is a Batman movie. You just go, fuck, that would suck. Like,
he's the one who says like, what is that? He's got a bazooka.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's so smart. And then how many times he's like, we gotta get topside. We have to get airborne. We need support. And it's perfect because you just go, yeah, you do. And I love the tonal shift. Did you notice in what? Did you rewatch this?
no,
Okay, so in in it, what I noticed in evaluation, which I'm sure I would have noticed in the past as well, but that I love in it is the tonal shift of the music. Halfway through, when the Batpod appears after the Batmobile has been thrashed, the music changed to that heroic Batman music for about 30 seconds.
I probably wouldn't have noticed that anyways.
And then it follows the Batpod for a little bit. And what I love about it is it allows you with an audio cue to see who's in control now.
Mhm.
Where
Sure.
even though the Joker still thinks he's got everything under control with the helicopter crash and everything, it allows you to understand that no. Now we're in Batman's world. We're not in Joker's world anymore. And it's perfect. It's fucking
Yeah,
perfect.
this
Um,
is another one where it's just like you got to pick between your favorite like children. Like
yeah. This is
it's
Sophie's
hard.
choice. It's fucking bullshit. But again, this is to me the best matchup we've had. This is
I would agree.
this is obviously so. Fellowship wins 11-9. It hurts. The Dark Knight not making it to the Sweet 16.
There was a lot of good stuff that got knocked out in the round of 64.
Oh,
So
well, here's the thing. I think I wouldn't be shocked if the Dark Knight for both of us is in the top 10 of the scenes that we pick at the end. So that's why I'm like, it's luck of the draw, you know?
yeah, yeah, that's true.
So, which will be a good follow up to the tournament.